Hello and welcome back to Serendipity Intended. My name is Tracy Ann. I am so glad that you are here. It is once again time for another Junk Journal July 2026 prompt. As you can see, this is getting very overstuffed. It's just popping open on its own. But actually, I love that. It feels like accomplishment, you know? So let's take a look and see. It is day 27, and I do have some stuff here that I'm planning on using, but let's take a quick look and see what the prompt is. So the prompt today for 27th of July is journal charm. And I'm kind of excited about this particular prompt because charms are fun. And it's also a nice break from doing, a whole page. And not that I mind, obviously, but it is a little bit of a nice break. And I find when I step aside from doing pages, even just briefly, it's like a little reset for my brain. And I can jump back into doing the pages again with a little bit of extra energy. So I thought that I would do the journal charm and put it here. I had attached this doily to the front cover, and it just feels plain, so I thought maybe a little charm here would be a nice way to kind of dress up the doily a bit. And so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my color scheme cues from what I've already got going on here. And so some browns, some blacks, definitely some pinks. And I thought I'd throw a pop of something else that, I've used in the journal just to kind of set the theme. So if you've been following along, I've been kind of going with a bit of a summer boho kind of vibe. And so I'm gonna continue that. I am going to, let's see, move these guys over just a little bit. I'm going to leave this here. I don't think I'm going to need these today. I'm going to leave this here just so that I can refer back to this if I need to. So this is what I pulled. Some of this I've had in my stash for a while. I used a bit of this on another page, and I just thought it was so pretty. And so I want to try and find a way to incorporate that. Plus, it has just hints of the yellow in it, which I also thought was nice, and a little bit of blue. I had pulled this for something else. I don't even remember now if I used it, but I loved the pink, and I thought maybe I could do something with this. This yellow tag is gonna be my focal point. This has been in my stash. It came with something. I did not do the stamping, but I feel like it's totally appropriate for this journal. So it's gonna be sort of my focal point. It's already a little bit of a charm, but I'm gonna build up this charm. And then I've got some of this string that I actually pulled when I was making my journal cover. I've used it on some other pages, actually, including this first one here. So I thought it might be nice to introduce a little bit of a textural element that appears in other pages in the journal. A bit of a snippet because it's pink and I just love it. It's got a little bit of green in it too. I've used this on a couple of different pages. I have had this here, and I thought this could be a fun way to just attach the tag or the charm once I've got it done. So I'm actually gonna stick it in there right now so I don't lose track of it. And then a label. I've been using a bunch of these kinds of labels on different pages, so I thought it might be appropriate. And then this is a ticket stub from a train in Waldboro, Maine, from September 8th, 1948. I guess the ticket, it was the Pullman Company, from Waldboro, Maine to New York, New York. So I just thought it was fun. And a little bit of blue, which I thought would be pretty with these other colors and sort of set the vibe. So, oh, and I have this brown ribbon, and I don't know if I'm going to use the brown ribbon, but on the brown ribbon is a little fairy charm. I'm not even sure if you can see that. But she's super sweet. This came with something that I had ordered, and I've been hanging on to it, and I would love to find a place to use this brown ribbon in my journal, but I'm thinking she might be cute on here as well. So my thought was that I could use these bits and pieces and somehow kind of do a sort of layered collage type of thing, and build sort of a tag that I could put on here. So that's what I'm gonna do, is just kind of play. To get a little bit more of the brown in, I am going to grab this Distressed Oxide, and I'm going to use it on the tag and on the ticket stub. On the tag, because I've got a little bit of a white border that I just want to tone down a little bit, and this will do that like magic. And I'm also going to, just in case this flips over, I don't really want this white tag, so I'm going to use a little bit of the brown on the back as well, just to get rid of that white. And I don't even know if it'll be visible, but I'm gonna do it now just in case it is. And then this has a little bit of red on here naturally, and I think I'm gonna leave that. It probably does not read at all on the camera, but I'm gonna leave the red alone on the top and just add the brown, and then again, just in case this flips over. This is already nicely aged. It's from 1940, so the paper has aged a little bit. Excuse me. But nothing wrong with adding a little bit of extra aging. And actually, I'm gonna do a little bit more on this edge, just to make it look a little more handled. Okay. So when I was kind of showing you my idea, I kind of did this and then this, and I do sort of love that just as a beginning point. So I'm gonna actually let me zoom in. See if I can move this camera just a bit. Here we go. So you can see a little bit better with what I'm working on here. So I thought it could be fun to maybe take some of this ribbon, kind of like this gingham checked thing. So take a piece of this ribbon and let it sort of hang down. Let me grab, put that on a diagonal. I may use another one of these, so I'll keep it handy. And this is a little bit of a junk journal, a little bit of distressed. It's not super precious, so I'm just gonna use my fingernail and rough that up just a little bit. Get a tiny bit of texture going on there. But I thought maybe it could be fun to layer this like so that it sort of hangs down, and adds a pop of color. And actually this seems to be, cut that off as well and do the same thing here. So that it's kind of here and it sort of hangs down, creates a little bit of extra layering. So that's kind of fun. And of course I do also have this string. And I wonder, I think she might be nice. I love these pins so much. So I was thinking maybe just to attach this like right through there, just on the string. Now she does kind of get in the way of the sun. Maybe, maybe instead of the string, I could attach her to the ribbon. That could be sort of fun. Let's see, oops. That's not what I intended to do. Okay, I like that idea, but that's too high up. So I sort of want her to hang below. So she's a little bit more obvious. So again, put that there, and maybe this here. And then we've got her kind of hanging down. Yeah, that's kind of fun. All right, I need a little bit more. I thought this might also be a really nice texture underneath here. Oh, and this could also, you know what, this could also hang down. We could do that. Tear this, maybe. There we go. And that'll give us a lot of texture. And I'm almost thinking to like bunch this so that it kind of, okay, I think I'm liking this, but I also feel like maybe I need to glue some things because there's too much moving around. So I do like this right like that. So, whoa. So let me grab a little bit of wax paper here so that I can start gluing. And I think I'll use my art glitter glue for this. And I'm not going to be super precious about gluing that down. Maybe right like that. And I'm not sure yet if I want to put something underneath of this, so I'm not going to glue it just yet. I love the thought, though, of this peeking out from behind, like so. So I'm loving that idea. So we're almost certainly going to go that route. And then actually, yeah, because I do really want to bunch this up. You know what, I'm going to take a little bit of this string and just tie it here to get that sort of bunched look. Cut this off so it's a little more manageable. Maybe not there. A bunch it maybe here. tie that, I'll make sure that it's sort of where I want it. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I've tied this. I'm going to tie it again just in a double knot to help it stay in place. And at least for now, I'm going to let the strings be, because that might be another fun layer of texture to have the strings here. Either, actually maybe, you know what? And I think, I wonder if another little thing of this, yep, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut a little piece of this brown. And this is also just sari silk. Gosh, it is a gorgeous shade of brown. And again, let it roughen it up a little bit so that what we have is the brown here, and then this with the white hanging down, and then the yellow will go on top. So we'll just see a teeny bit of that brown. I think what I'm gonna do to attach these is I'm not gonna glue them. I'm going to staple them. And that was one of the most ineffective stapling jobs I've ever done. Oh well, it'll have to do. Okay, so I do think I'm ready to start gluing. So for this, because I'm using ribbon, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. My voice is a little scratchy this morning, and I'm not sure why. What I really ought to do is store this upside down. I get very impatient waiting for the glue to shift. So I'm just going to go ahead down here and then go ahead and let the pink be adhered here. And then just, I don't really want to glue the brown all the way down, but it is trying to sort of swoop over to the side, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm gonna tack it just a teeny bit to help hold it in place. And then, yep, this will go here. And then we'll have these white strings, and then we'll have the yellow kind of up on top. All right, I think next I need to glue my pink sari down. Oh, come on. Bit of a dot of glue there. Oh, and I'm also realizing this brown, because I didn't staple it very well, this brown needs to be glued again as well. So get a nice little dab of glue there for my little bunch. And which way? I think I'll do it this way. And I'm going to go ahead and put the glue there. And then I don't want this going off this way. So again, I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to help glue this so that it's aiming more in the direction that I want it to go. I'm sorry, I'm realizing I'm pulling this towards myself and off the camera. And then, oh, that's turning into a really nice little cluster. I do though think, see how it's sitting way up like this? I don't want that. I do want this to sit a little bit closer. So I think what I'm gonna do is grab an awl to punch a hole through here. And then I'm also gonna grab a brad so that I can attach this with the brad into this spot here. And then do I wanna do that? I don't know. Yeah, I kind of do. See if I can use the ink again. This is the same ink that I used before, that Vintage Photo Distressed Oxide. I'm gonna leave the white though, and just kind of get the edges to give it a little bit of definition, because I think that'll pop against that doily that I've got over here. But we'll glue that down, and I just use the glitter glue for that. So maybe like so. So I've lost quite a bit of the ticket, which is a little unfortunate, but I'm fine with it because I like what I'm creating here. So give me just a moment, because I need to grab my awl and I need to grab a brad, and then I'll be back and we'll see if we can't finish this thing up. All right, so I've got my awl and I've got some brads over here, but I've decided that my son needs a little something something before I go ahead and attach it, just because I think it'll be easier to add something to this beforehand rather than afterwards. So I think, because I've done some doodling on some other pages and I've also used some colored pencil, I think I'm going to have a little play and add to this tag to give it a little bit more going on, and also to maybe add some color to this as well. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll come back and show you what I've come up with afterwards. And there we go. Looks a little different than it did before. Added some color to the sun and also a border around, and I've included sort of a turquoise blue and brown, and then orange and sort of a poppy red and pink, as well as a darker yellow in the sun. And then the top looked a little empty, so I stamped the word joy on it. And it's a little off, and at first I was annoyed, and then I decided it made it feel a little more quirky, and ultimately I think I like that. And I love, love, love the way that it looks layered on top with this added to it. So I think I'm super close to being done. Just need to attach this and then add my prompt label, and we'll be finished. So let me grab my little tiny mini mat here and figure out where I need to punch that hole. I think right about there is good. So I'm gonna make a dot so I know where the awl needs to go. But before I punch the hole, I need to choose a brad. And I was originally thinking that I would choose something that was, you know, a similar color, like a brown color. And then I realized I didn't really have exactly what I was looking for. So I did grab this little round brad, which I thought could work. So I'm going to set that there. I also have a lot of black that I'm using. So I thought the black could also work. You know, it would stand out a little bit more than the brown. Yeah, I do think I like the black one better than the brown one. But then I also have some other more fun and funky ones, and I was originally thinking maybe they might be cool, but now that I've stamped this, I don't think these bigger ones are going to work. So I do think it's gonna have to be, although this is really fun. Would this work? No, it hides the All right, so the black it is. So I've got my brad, I've got this. So I need to take my awl and punch a hole through all of this. And then take my brad. Oops. Put this through the hole. And then just bend over the edges like so. And we've got our tag. All right, clean this mess up a bit. All right, I feel like we might be done with our little journal charm. It's probably too big at this point to technically be a charm, but I think it works. So let's bring our page back over here, and oh, I am so happy with this and how it looks. And I'm also realizing I could, since I'm going to attach it with this T-pin, I could use the back as a little bit of a journal spot, a kind of very hidden journal spot. And I also kind of really like that idea. All right, so I'm going to use the T-pin to attach this. And it is coming out the other side. You can't really see it. That's all right. I'm mostly interested in the extra texture up here. And yeah, that gives us our tag. And I also like, again, because I'm a big fan of stuff peeking out the edge, I sort of like that peeks right out the edge. And it sits real nicely. So I think we're done for today. That was a fun little journal tag cluster, my little fairy down here. And I had a good time today. I hope that you did as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Until then, I definitely hope that you get yourself into your own space to create something. And as always, I hope that you make a great day. Goodbye.